Rules of the Association of Boxing Commissions that you see on your screen. Jim, real quick, I want to go over the 4 points that the judges are going to use to score each individual round. Clean punching, effective aggressiveness, ring generalship, and defense with a strong emphasis on clean punching. Jim.
All right, Harold, and now let's get ready for a closer look at the competitors already in the ring with HBO boxing analyst Larry Merchant. And first, the heavy favorite, Wladimir Klitschko.
Klitschko won the gold medal in Atlanta in the super heavyweight division at the age of 20. Since we last saw him, he's garnered his PhD in physical education, studying 14 to 18-year-olds training methods, and he's played chess against the great chess master Gary Kasparov, to round out his Greek ideal of a sound body and sound mind.
Emmanuel Stewart, will Klitschko have to box tonight, or is this bombs away from the beginning?
I think it's going to be a technical fight in the beginning. Both guys have indicated that they intend to fight a skillful fight. I hope that somewhere along the line someone decides to open up a little bit more to try to take a more decisive edge. But in the beginning, I expect it to be technical.
And a closer look at the man across the ring from Klitschko, Las Vegas native Charles Shafford.
Shafford was a tight end at a junior college in California, but his transition to boxing was natural because his father and two uncles both were professional fighters. His father is his trainer. As well as that, he's a good actor because he's playing George Foreman in the new movie about Muhammad Ali, and he is anything but a Foreman in the ring. But Will Smith, who does play Ali in that movie, is in the ring with him.
And Manny, maybe Shafford should try to play Foreman in the fight.
Well, you know, he looks like if he hasn't changed his hairstyle since the movie, evidently. I thought I was looking at George Foreman. I think that in order for him to win, he may have to change up from his boxing techniques, which are very good. He comes from a very good boxing family. His uncles, I know, were all good fighters. And I think he has a good corner. He has a good, solid, professional corner, and that's going to give him a good chance in this fight.
As you watch tonight's telecast, you can log on to hbo.com/boxing, where you'll find our Boxing Alert newsletter, keeping you up to date with the latest boxing news, fight announcements, schedules, and more. And don't forget to check out our Where Are They Now series. Our current installment features former lightweight champion Ray Boom Boom Mancini, trying to make a career in Hollywood. Hurry home early, hurry on home. Boom Boom Mancini's fighting Bobby Chacon. Let's go to ring announcer Michael Buffer for the official introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to the Mandalay Bay Resort and Casino of Las Vegas and World Championship Boxing. Brought to you by Bob Arum's Top Rank Incorporated in association with the undisputed king of beer, Budweiser. This contest is presented in association with Universum Box Promotion and Cedric Kushner Promotions. It is sanctioned by the Nevada State Athletic Commission, Chairman Dr. Elias Ghanem. The three judges assigned to ringside for this bout will be Mike Liena, Bill Graham, and Patricia Jarman Manning. And when the bell rings, your referee in charge of the action, Kenny Bayless. And now, ladies and gentlemen, from the Mandalay Bay of Las Vegas, 12 rounds of boxing for the WBO World Heavyweight Championship. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing red trimmed with white. He stands 6 feet 3 inches and weighs 234 pounds. His professional record, 17 victories, including 9 knockouts with only 1 defeat. From right here in Las Vegas, Nevada, here is the challenger, Charles Shafford Jr. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the red corner, wearing red trimmed with gold. He stands 6 feet 5 inches and weighs 241 pounds. He captured Olympic gold, and now as a professional, he has 36 victories in 37 bouts, including 33 knockouts and only 1 loss. Ladies and gentlemen, from Kiev, Ukraine, presenting the reigning and defending WBO World Heavyweight Champion, the Steel Hammer, Dr. Wladimir Klitschko.
Okay, unloading. Okay, just 1 second. Just one. Okay, fellas. Trunks are a little high here. Any punch in this area is considered a legal punch. Anything below will be illegal. Now, gentlemen, we went over the rules in the dressing room. I want to caution you. Keep the fight clean at all times. Protect yourself at all times. And what I say, you must obey. Good luck to both of you. Touch gloves. Klitschko, who is regarded as the best young heavyweight in the world, is coming off devastating wins over a pure boxer, Chris Bird, and a pure brawler, Derek Jefferson. Shafford is a big, strong boxer.
So a well-rounded test for Klitschko, as Klitschko and his German trainer Fritz Sedunet try to prepare him for the title shot that now seems inevitable, barring a major upset. We'll see if Shafford early will try to match Klitschko jab for jab. Right now Shafford staying back and Wladimir just sort of measuring the distance. Shafford told us he wanted to test Klitschko early to see if he could keep up with his speed.
Klitschko is not necessarily a speed fighter. He's a very technical fighter, very patient, and as a result of the only loss he had where he expended himself so early, he became even probably more conservative to make sure he doesn't burn himself out.
Klitschko's only loss in a fight at the end of 1996 against American veteran Ross Purity, fighting in his hometown of Kiev. Perhaps overexcited, he ran out of gas in the 10th and 11th rounds of a fight in which he had been leading all the way, and ultimately the fight was stopped in the 11th when Klitschko's trainer jumped into the ring to ask the referee to call it to a halt. He lost a lot of credibility that night. He's earned a lot of it back over the course of the intervening 4.5 years. Relatively slow first round here as Shafford is so far unwilling to engage Klitschko, and now he steps forward and fires a combination. But Shafford went wide and low with that left hook to the body. If he does that a few more times, Wladimir will try to fire a right hand.
Wladimir right now is looking for a right hand. He said his favorite fighter was Max Mellon, and he fights to some degree like him, like many of the European heavyweights. Basically probing with the left hand, always looking for opening for the beautiful right hand that he has. Shafford is going to have to start punching back a little bit more, even if it's just a jab, to get more respect. Otherwise, if Klitschko keeps shooting those power shots, sooner or later he's got to start landing, just playing the numbers game.
Shafford feinting now. Feinting with his hands and with his head. Trying to get Klitschko to follow the motion. Wladimir sticking the jab. And a tactical round one comes to a close. When we go to Vladimir's corner, where they speak German, one of the 5 languages Wladimir Klitschko speaks, our interpreter is Jens Halling.
That's just right. I'll tell you when to go. A little more. Provoke him a little more. Then you go right. That's very important. Drink a little bit.
No more feints. You need a little more jab, a little more feints. You understand? And stay focused. And you gotta look to hit him a little more. You know what I mean? You sell him down, you're doing nice. Don't give him no rounds, you hear me? Don't give him no rounds. All right, you're okay. Stay focused, stay focused. He can't touch you. He never touch you. Bring it out, let's go, come on. Yeah, that's right.
Round one saw very low connect percentages for both fighters by CompuBox numbers. Klitschko landing only 6 of 46 jabs. Shafford throwing 21 jabs and landing only one of them. Wladimir by far the aggressor in the round. That's why Harold Letterman called him the winner of round one.
But I make it a point to notice that the best punch of the round was the last 2 punches of the round, which were solid jabs by Klitschko. And if he keeps jabbing and fighting his range with the jab, you can pretty much expect the right hand to follow through pretty soon.
Shafford trying to get to the body with the left hook. You heard his corner. His father, Charles Shafford Sr., asking him for more feinting, more movement.
He's not moving much, and their left jab is going to be the big factor, I think, as the fight progresses. The jab coming from Klitschko. His jab is landing with beautiful force and power.
Wladimir missing with the right hand there. Difference in strength between the two fighters seems evident. Yes. Shafford needs to use his quickness.
And Shafford is very much aware, seem to be conscientious of the strength difference. But he's not using his footwork too much.
There's a hard right hand.
It's just
you know, you just saw that coming. I mean, you just saw that coming. As soon as he could land the right hand, Shafford was going down.
He was preoccupied with watching for the jab. He never saw the right hand.
Come to me. Come in your glove.
So now let's see if Wladimir can finish an opponent who has gone down once, doesn't seem to be all that groggy, and has his legs underneath it. Shafford moving more on his feet now. Slip for Wladimir, and when we see a big man go down like that, having watched Michael Grant, we worry about a knee injury. Klitschko seems to be sound as he gets up. Now it's Klitschko who feints with the right hand.
Yes, Klitschko doesn't shoot many left hooks like most of the European fighters. He's primarily looking for that one big shot with the right hand. And his left hand is just a jab or maneuver punch just to move you around. He's looking for that one big right hand.
Lands another right hand, this one with not as much force as the first one. Shafford kind of saw it coming.
Step back, please. Step back. I told you stay off the rope. How you gotta get that punch in on you, son? Stay focused, man. Man don't know folks get hit you with nothing like that.
You're doing very good. Stay calm, left, right, not too much power, a little shorter. You did good.
Charles Shafford Sr., the trainer, says that big guys like Klitschko are just strong, that's all. But you can see how quick and straight that right hand was. It wasn't just strong, it was quick. It was an athletic quickness that reached Shafford.
And you're probably going to see more of those right hands as the fight progresses.
But I do think he has a left hand, and if Shafford gets in close sometimes because he has to be more aggressive, I think he'll also see the left hand, Emmanuel.
At this stage right now, everything seems to be going Klitschko's way. And I may be wrong, but psychologically, I think Shafford right now is starting to give a little bit more.
Yeah, he doesn't look comfortable in the fight. No. He doesn't look like he's found anything that he thinks he can do. He looks as though he's just sort of waiting in there and hoping to avoid the worst as Klitschko tries to size him up and find the range. Good
right hand to the body that time by Klitschko.
That's another right hand. And that's the second knockdown of the fight, as once again, Wladimir explodes a right hand off the cheekbone of Shafford.
Yeah, that's not a punch of strength.
Beautiful right hand.
That's just a beautiful straight right hand by a big man.
He has the quickness, ladies and gentlemen. He has the athletic talent. This is no Eastern European stiff. This is a big, athletic, quick cat who is learning with every fight and who has power, speed, commitment, and a huge desire to become the heavyweight champion of the world.
His jab is beautiful. It's very straight, very stiff, and it's got Shafford so preoccupied trying to watch the jab that he can't watch the right hand, which he's trying to watch also.
Klitschko showing patience. He'd like to do more damage, but he's not going to take an unnecessary chance stalking a 230-pound fighter.
Cuts the ring off. Relentless aggression under control.
You see all of the experience for those great amateur fights that he had, and you must forget this man won the heavyweight championship in the Olympics, something that very few fighters other than Cubans have did in the last 15 or 20 years.
Well, Lennox Lewis won a gold, and he was the last top fighter that won a gold.
That was 1988.
And we're probably looking at the next one.
Of course, Muhammad Ali, Joe Frazier, and George Foreman all won Olympic gold medals.
Long time ago.
There he's looking for the little left hook as Klitschko, as Shafford ducked away. Obviously concerned about the right hand, so now Klitschko begins to fire the occasional left hook. Shafford landing in single digits, not taking many chances and throwing much. Wladimir trying to land one more big right hand, and the crowd and ahs just as they would a Sammy Sosa missed cut on a 3-1 fastball.
Yeah, but it's still all Klitschko right now.
Matter of time. Just a matter of time.
Man, you never get hit with the right hand. Just get off the rope and keep your hands up high, okay? And step away from those body shots. You got legs, man. Step away from it. This guy got to be...
You just hit him very good. Stay calm, deep breathe. You're doing very good.
Here's a look at Klitschko again in that right, which looked like it landed on the heart region. A straight right hand, fakes the left, fires the right.
The beautiful right hand, too.
Off the cheekbone. Boom.
You can't throw a straighter right hand than that.
When his father asks his son, why do you don't get hit with right hands, that's obviously because he hasn't seen one like this. Or perhaps we should say he...
You know, I think even Lennox Lewis loops his right hand a little bit more than Klitschko. Pretty close call.
The right hand that Klitschko is shooting is one of the best right hands that I've ever saw, not just today, probably in the history of boxing. He hasn't been that good before this fight.
Harold, how do you have it through 3?
Okay, Jim. 3 rounds to nothing. 30-25, Wladimir Klitschko. Jim, I think the key to this fight is every time Charles Shafford stops and stands right in front of that big guy, he gets murdered. Just watch Shafford's feet. The minute he stops, he gets nailed, and it's all there is to it. Can't stand in front of him because the guy hits too hard.
Break, step back clean, fellas. There we go.
Klitschko sticking the jab right into the middle of Shafford's face. Shafford backs off and creates distance again. Klitschko sticks him with the jab 2 more times.
And Klitschko's got such a good jab. It's an offbeat jab. He's moving his body rhythm at one speed, and then he's punching the jab off at a different speed, and it's making it very difficult for Shafford to time it. Because he's moving so smooth and so gracefully, and the jab comes off at a whole different rhythm.
Now Shafford dives inside and tries to get to Klitschko's body. Wladimir ties him up. Goes back to looking for a big right hand. missing with a left hook there. Blocking Shafford's left with his right elbow.
He's blocking the punches, but still always maintaining good balance and good position. So even after he finishes up blocking the punches, he's able to retaliate right away if he wants to, either to regain that chase momentum that he set.
Lest you ever confuse the younger Klitschko with his older brother Vitaly. When you see Vitaly in the ring, he's even bigger than brother Wladimir. But what he lacks is the athletic deftness. He's just not as nifty on his feet. You don't feel that loose, cat-like quickness, the ability to respond to a situation that Wladimir so clearly has. On August 14, catch the next edition of Real Sports with Brian Gumbel. Among the stories, so you think golf requires concentration? Imagine playing around without the benefit of your sight. That'll be August 14 here on HBO. Real Sports. Nothing is out of bounds.
You do first the right and then the middle. Don't do too much with the left. You're doing very good.
Be hurt. You know what I mean? You got to put a hurting on this guy. The ball on right hand is there for you because he's coming in hard. You got him once he started. You got him sucking him in to come in hard. You got him with the ball on right. Don't throw it right up across the quick. Or you're gonna miss across the top with a hook up the wild. You know what I mean?
Box numbers. Go ahead.
I was just about to say, Jim, that there was a lot of pre-fight talk about some of the fouling that the Shaffords felt that Klitschko occasionally did, or maybe more than occasionally in their view. But it's not the illegal blows that have hurt them, it's the legal ones.
By and large, he hasn't been close enough to Shafford to foul him. Shafford has stayed at distance for the most part, with the exception of the occasions when he got close enough for Klitschko to knock him down with two right hands.
Well, the odd thing was we asked him, since he had portrayed George Foreman in the Ali movie, could he ever do that? And they said yes, but they were concerned with getting hit with an elbow. I don't know of a strategy that was ever devised because you were concerned about getting hit with a foul.
Stop! Let him up. There we go.
Well, you heard Charles Shafford Sr. telling his son, you're going to have to hurt the guy at some point.
It's amazing. I'm looking at Shafford, who's about 10 pounds bigger than George Foreman was when George was at his destructive power.
Well, even more than that.
And still, he looks like a baby almost to some degree compared to today's big super heavyweights.
Yeah, exactly. This is the way the division has gone.
Yeah.
Wladimir Klitschko defines the body type that you have to have now to compete at the top of the heavyweight division, by and large. Although, of course, Rahman is about Shafford's size.
Yes. You took the thought right out of my head, John.
What did Shafford weighed in at 237, didn't he? And I believe Rahman weighed in at 237 in South Africa. Well, this thing has deteriorated badly because Shafford seems to be satisfied to survive each round, and Klitschko is not interested in taking any unwarranted chances, being thoroughly in control of the fight as he is.
Klitschko is, I don't think, afraid at all of Shafford. I don't even see that much of a danger, but still, nevertheless, he's content to win the fight at this stage the way he's winning it.
Yeah, why chase?
Yeah.
You know, you're well ahead, and the other guy just wants to stay away. Meanwhile, still to come tonight, a 122-pound fight in which neither fighter is expected to give any quarter. Holy Ayala from Fort Worth, Texas, two-time winner over Johnny Tapia, moving up from 118 to 122, coming off a long amateur career and a successful decorated professional career to take on Bones Adams, who had a long amateur career himself before leaving it, believe it or not, to become a professional at age 15, and has been a pro for a dozen years now. Tonight gets his biggest paycheck and potentially his crowning achievement as he gets to take on a big-name opponent in Ayala.
Seconds out!
Round 6 of a scheduled 12.
It looks as though Shafford is coming out and trying to engage Klitschko. We'll see how many chances he takes, whether he's willing to throw more than one punch at a time, or whether he's going to be satisfied to survive.
CompuBox numbers are desultory so far. Klitschko landed 12 punches in round 5. Shafford, by CompuBox count, has landed 12 punches in the fight.
This is the stage where the experience starts showing. And I mean, sometimes one guy may be doing good, but still I think his mental concentration is not going to be as good as a fighter with the experience going down the stretch. And in this case, you'd have to favor Klitschko, because I think as Shafford goes on, it's a good possibility he may get tired, lose his concentration and his focus.
Well, Wladimir's had more than twice as many pro fights.
As well as a brilliant amateur career also.
That's right.
So his concentration, I think, as I call mental and psychological energy, is probably going to be a big factor going down the stretch of these last few rounds. And the way he's shooting those right hands, Shafford has got to stay alert all the time. He cannot afford to relax for 1 second.
Wladimir tried a left hand. Shafford had a couple of chances to whack him to the body. Crowd boos because they want something more in the way of action. Shafford's not terribly interested in suicide, so he's going to continue backing away and trying to keep some distance between himself and Wladimir Klitschko.
Klitschko is getting closer and closer and closer, though.
Just missed over the top with that right hand. The 2 times he's managed to connect solidly with the right hand, Shafford has gone down.
Very hard to connect solid there, because Shafford's mind is primarily about 90% on defense. And therefore it's very difficult to land a clean punch.
Well, after you get knocked down a couple of times by right hands you didn't see, voluntarily or not, you know, the instinct for survival steps in, and you take fewer and fewer chances. Self-preservation, it's called.
Shafford a tiny bit friskier in round 6.
So much for the left hook that I said didn't exist.
Quick left hook inside, and Charles has a headache as he gets up at the count of 7 and wobbles, and Kenny Bayless has seen it up.
Did I tell you about the left hook
that I said didn't exist?
An American weapon, the quick left hook. And Wladimir Klitschko waited and waited and waited for the right hand, and finally said, all right, look, if you're not going to let me land the right hand, I will just have to knock you out with the left hook. I've got no choice. And
it was a great left hook, too.
So another feather in the cap of emerging heavyweight superstar Wladimir Klitschko. His 37th victory against a single loss. Another knockout to go with a long string of them. Another impressive performance to go with the domination of Bird and the quick KO of Jefferson in his last 2 fights. This time against a tactical fighter, wanted to wait and stay away from him. Klitschko was patient, finally found his opportunity to land a fight-ending punch, and did so at close range.
He was getting closer, leaning in. He was getting closer and closer with body contact.
And Shafford was so conscious of the right hand, but let's take a look at this left hook that finished the thing. Here you go, Manny.
It's a great left hook.
Didn't need much room.
And a short hook, too.
Yeah, didn't need a lot of room for that.
No.
Just kind of bodies Shafford off.
Perfect left hook.
And crunches him with the left hook. And when Shafford got up, he was wobbling back and forth. And Kenny Bayless said, why do I want to send you out against this guy for any more punishment if you're not ready to stand on your feet?
And it's really impressive that a guy to be that tall to land such a short punch.
It comes from balance and technique. Body him off, boom.
And experience.
So Wladimir keeps getting better, doesn't he?
I was very impressed tonight. I thought he fought a good fight. He kept good balance. Totally in control at all times. Good left jab, good right hand, and a good left hook.
Larry Merchant stands by in the ring. First, let's go to Michael Buffer for the official announcement on this one.
Ladies and gentlemen, the end comes at 2 minutes 55 seconds of round number 6. The winner by knockout victory, and still the reigning WBO World Heavyweight Champion, the Steel Hammer, Dr. Wladimir Klitschko.
So the Doctor of Heavyweight Contenders, recent recipient of a PhD in sports fitness from his home university in Kiev in the Ukraine, gets another knockout in his boxing career. Final punch stat numbers, total punches, so that it was a slow tactical fight. Shafford landing only 16 of 190 attempted blows. Wladimir Klitschko landing 58 out of 262. About half of those were jabs and half of them power shots. As you can see, Klitschko landing 40 out of 213 jabs to 7 out of 126 for Shafford. Not a high connect percentage on the jab for Klitschko. That's more a function of where Shafford was standing and the respect that he gave to Klitschko than it is of any technical inadequacy on Wladimir's part. When Wladimir got his chance, he did what he had to do. Now let's go to Larry Merchant with the winner.
Thank you, Jim. Congratulations, Wladimir. Was there anything in this fight that surprised you?
Before the fight, I know next opponent, Charles Shafford, he's a very careful fighter, and it's very difficult fight against guys who are very careful, and because they don't make mistakes, or make a mistake but not so loud for a good punch. And it was a good experience for me, because I still was 6 or 7 rounds, and I just take a time step by step, because I have 12 rounds. That's it.
Were you surprised at all that the blow that ended the fight finally was almost your first left hook?
You know, yes, but not only. In the right time. The left hook in the right time, and right straight in the right time too. And it's just independent from the situation.
We've noticed over the years in seeing many European heavyweights and fighters that they don't throw left hooks. Did you learn this at a young age as part of your arsenal?
I started with the boxing, I was 14, and I learned a lot of things. And my very important thing, correct my work for the next fighter, because it's independent from the fighter's style. I changed my style too, because all the time fighting with the same style, I think I will never have a result.
All right, let's take a look at the knockout blow at the end of the fight. You had knocked him down twice with right hands. Describe what you see. Yes, that's what
this guy. Yeah, it's just a result for the hard work, hard preparation, because I'm still here in Las Vegas 4 weeks before the fight, and the preparation was very hard.
Do you feel that right now you are ready for any heavyweight in the world, or do you feel that you still need some other fights before that?
Oh, it's a good question, because I'm ready like last year, and I just wait of the big fight against big names, and I'm sure it's coming.
Thank you very much. Again, congratulations, Wladimir. Jim?
All right. Thank you, Larry. And remember that Emmanuel Stewart is still the trainer of Lennox Lewis, who's